I'm Anastasia Chatzka. I'm a fashion designer, pattern maker, and sewing educator, and I'm so happy you're here sewing along with me today. Welcome to Sewing Anastasia, and today we are going to talk about slopers. Wait, what? What is a sloper? So I'm always getting the question, what is a sloper? Because I use the word sloper a lot. I'm like, get your sloper, do this, trace out your sloper, do that. People are like, what is a sloper, Anastasia? Well, today I'm here to tell you what a sloper is, when to use it, and how to use it. So follow along to learn all about slopers. If you're not already a subscriber to Sewing Anastasia, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you know when all the new videos come out. I put out sewing and fashion videos every single week, so many videos. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you so much for watching. So let's get into it. But first, you might be hearing a term called pattern block as well. So a pattern block and a sloper are the exact same thing. Those words can be used interchangeably. What is a sloper? A sloper is the basic foundation in pattern drafting for creating all those other fabulous designs that you want to create. So you're going to create a basic bodice, a basic sleeve, and a basic skirt. These are just basic flat patterns that you can manipulate to create other fabulous designs. So basically, a sloper is a template of the body that we start with and trace out to create designs. And then we can put style lines in it, we can move the darts around, we can basically create anything from a sloper. Also, your sloper set of patterns generally does not have seam allowance on it because it's easier to pattern draft and create style lines without the seam allowance there, and then you can go back and add it. But you can also have a sloper set with seam allowance on it to do things real quick and easy. But typically, it doesn't have seam allowance on it. So let's go over all the pieces in the sloper set for a dress. This here is the sleeve that has 2 darts at the elbow to create shape. And here's the front bodice that has 2 bust darts in it. And here is the back bodice, which has 1 dart in it as well. This here is the back skirt that has 2 waist darts in it. And last, we have the front skirt, which has 4 darts in it. So the 5 pieces I just showed you are the standard basic 5-piece set to a sloper dress. And from these, you can create anything, and I'm gonna show you how. So I pattern drafted a sloper set to my measurements and I put it on the dress form. So let's take a look at it. So this here is the basic sloper set all sewn up. So remember, these are my measurements, but we put it on the dress form for you to see. So I had to take 25 different measurements, and then I pattern drafted the basic sloper set, and this is what we ended up with. So we have a nice fitted bodice with a dart in the front up to the bust. We have 2 hip darts going down from the waist on the front here on both sides, right and left. We have a nice fitted sleeve that has 2 elbow darts, neon green zipper just for fun. And we also have a back bodice dart, 1 on each side. And we have 2 skirt darts on each side going from the waist to the hip. My booty's obviously a little bit bigger than this dress form to fit in back here. So that's why it's a little loose on the back of the dress form. And that's it. That is your basic sloper set all sewn up. So because I took all the measurements for my body and my measurements, this is perfectly my size. So anything I design from this is going to fit me perfectly because I pattern drafted it in my size. And obviously this is a very fitted silhouette. So if you don't want your clothes in a fitted silhouette, that's okay, because that just means when you pattern draft, you're going to add ease and style and fullness wherever you want it. But we started with the perfect fitting sloper set, so we know whatever you design is going to fit. So making your basic sloper set can take some work. It can take multiple fittings and try-ons and everything depending on your personal fit issues, you know, whether you have a short waist or a bigger bust or whatever it is, right? We gotta get all those fit issues out. So once you get all your fit issues taken care of and you have your sloper set that fits you perfectly, fashion design is so fun. So now that you know what the pattern slopers look like, you know what they look like when they're sewn up, now I'm gonna show you how to use them to create a completely different design. But before we get into working with the sloper, I want to show you some of the awesome designs that we can make from this really plain, boring fitted dress, right? So let's take a look at the pattern drafting book and look at some of the possibilities. So you'll notice right here, this is the basic sloper dress, and then right next to it is an outfit that was made from these basic sloper patterns. So if we take a look through the book, we can see some other samples of this. So these two tops right here were made from the basic sloper pattern, and they're showing you how to get to those styles by using the basic sloper block for the bodice. Same with these ones. So notice all the gathering, all the ruching, all the pulling over to the drape on the shoulder. So they've gotten to these designs by using that basic sloper bodice, and it walks you right through how to use the basic sloper bodice and get this style. So the possibilities are unlimited. So that is the magic of the sloper. You have this one design here that we are going to use and retrace out, which gives you unlimited design potential, which is so cool and why having your own personal sloper block set is so important. So I know I teased you with it before that we were going to create the design, but we're actually going to create the design now. So let's use our front bodice sloper. So if you do make a sloper set or you buy one, it's a great idea to trace it out on some oak tag or some poster board because you're going to be tracing around the edge a whole bunch and it's going to get a lot of wear and tear. So I always have mine traced out on some oak tag with no seam allowance. So let's go over how to create some styles using this front bodice. So we are going to create a cowl top, which is nice and draped around the neck from the basic front bodice sloper. So if you have a pattern drafting book, what you're gonna do is trace out your sloper and just follow all of the directions. And then once you do that, you're gonna end up with a new design. The first thing you always want to do when working with your sloper is trace it out because you never want to cut up your sloper. That is like your template. That is your go-to pattern piece that you are never ever going to cut up. So always trace out your sloper and then set it to the side. Let's do it. Let's follow all those directions in the book and create a new top. Check it out. We have a design that looks completely different from our sloper bodice. So we got to this draped cowl bias cut top from using the front sloper block. An amazing part about this is that I know it's going to fit me perfectly because I use the sloper blocks that were for me in my size. So your fashion design potential is unlimited. In the fashion design pattern making books, those are just suggestions and tips on how to get to those designs. But once you really understand how to pattern draft and get certain looks, the creativity is endless. And we didn't have to buy a pattern from the store. We just traced out our sloper block and made a pattern. So cool. Thanks so much for watching Sewing Anastasia today. If you have any questions about what a sloper is, how to use it, when to use it, all that good stuff, leave it down below and I will get back with you as soon as I can. And I also teach pattern drafting classes on how to make slopers. So if you're in Chicago and interested in that, make sure you sign up for my pattern drafting class. Otherwise, make sure you follow Sewing Anastasia on YouTube and Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok, and all those fabulous social media websites because I love posting everything about sewing, fashion, and creation. I love it. And I would love to see your projects as well, so make sure you tag me in your projects so that way I can share them with everyone else. If you enjoyed this video today, make sure you give it a thumbs up, give it some applause, and leave a comment down below. Do you have a sloper? Do you have it in your size? Do you need help with it? I would just love to know everything sloper related. So leave it down below and we'll chat later. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!